Normally watch Disney stuff now, so it's always like Disney Channel and Disney music at the moment. You know, people probably call a lot of riders arrogant or big-headed, but we're not. We're just, you know, we're self-believers and we think we can do the best job better than anyone else. There has been glimmers and shines of hope, you know, what I still can do on a superbike. You know, we are an underfunded team and we've had a lot of DNFs this year, unfortunately. When I done the last ever 250 British Grand Prix in 2009 at Donington Park on a Aprilia. Long, honestly, that did. I remember him doing it. He went absolutely ballistic. I was only 16 at the time.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch. This is Off Track Motorcycle Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Neal. More importantly, we finally managed to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Mossey. Luke, welcome to the show, mate.
Nice to be on, finally.
You've got it, mate. This has been so long in the making.
4 rounds later when we first mentioned it.
4 rounds later. We're going to do one. Yeah, we'll do one. Yeah, we'll do one. And finally, before the end of the season, we managed to get one nailed in.
Yeah.
How are you? How's the season been?
I'm all good. It's been a tough year, as I think a lot of you know. You know, we are an underfunded team and we've had a lot of DNFs this year, unfortunately. But, you know, coming on the back from last year, you know, I had a shoulder injury that hampered me all of last year and we ended up missing the last 2 rounds. So, you know, we was playing catch up. We didn't get a lot of testing in this winter due to the weather, British weather, basically. You know, we went to round 1 very unprepared. I think we've done 6 laps in total for testing. So, you know, after missing last year and then missing all of the winter's testing, you know, we was one of the teams that didn't go to Spain testing, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's been a bit of, we've been playing catch up a lot this year, but, you know, I think we've done all right this season. You know, we've always been on the back foot, I feel like, and, you know, to come as well from a rostrum last week at Donington, I think we've done all right.
I think I would agree with that completely. I mean, I think the podium last week vindicated the season.
Absolutely.
For how difficult it has been, and we've followed your progress all season, and there's been flashes, and then there's been a technical. There's something gone on. There always seems to have been something.
Yeah.
And you haven't forgotten how to ride a superbike. No. So how do you, from a personal point of view, how do you attack a season like this? How do you deal with it personally?
Like I said, you know, there has been glimmers and shines of hope, you know, what I still can do on a superbike. You know, it's been tough this year because, you know, we're on a few-year-old bike, BMW. You know, we're not on the latest ones. You know, we haven't got the Alpha engines that FHO have and, you know, Haslam. So, you know, we are underpowered a little bit. Well, I say a little bit, quite a lot compared to them, what I've noticed on track. And, you know, I still feel like I've got a lot to give in this championship. You know, that to be like last week, the podium, that was my first podium in superbike in 6 years. So it felt like my first one. You know, when we was in stock in 21, I had rostrums every week and then race wins, which was great. But, you know, I don't want to be in stock. You know, I feel like I belong in superbikes. And, you know, with the podium last week, I just feel like we backed it up with what the package we've got at the moment. So to do that towards the end of the year, you know, we obviously here at Brands Hatch, we've got 1 more round to go, but to come home with a trophy, going into the winter, you know, it's just a great, you know, massive relief really. You know, it feels like a massive weight off my shoulders and it was just great to be back on the podium in the superbike class.
How do you deal with the difficult side of it? Because you have had a couple of tricky seasons with injury. I mean, I thought it was brave to step back to Superstock. I thought it was the right thing to do at the time, to prove, just like Dan Linfoot's doing this year, to prove that you can still pedal a bike round.
Yeah.
And that's why I was as keen to get you on the show to talk about that, because I don't want you forgotten about.
Yeah.
Because you can still pedal a bike round. You proved that. And there's been a couple of free practices this year where you've been top 5, top 3, and then the podium that comes out with it. I think people don't quite understand the level sometimes with the packages and what you've got.
Yeah, absolutely.
So from a personal point of view, what's it been like for you this year? I take it you've never questioned your own ability, or have you?
No, I've not. Honestly, I know what I can do on a motorbike. It's like I said, I've had a tough 3 years. You know, in 2020 with OMG, you know, we sort of was meant to be staying for the 2021 season, and then we got told in November that my services wouldn't be, you know, fulfilled for the next season. So I was sort of left on my arse a little bit. And then I didn't really have much on the table. And then we did sign for Dave Tyson to do the superbike season on a Kawasaki, and everything was going well, but they couldn't get the funding to go. So, you know, come end of February, start of March, I was on my arse again. So Pete Extance from Bournemouth Kawasaki come out of the woodwork and said, look, let's set a stock team up and just get you back out racing and, you know, prove everyone what you can do. And we did. So, you know, won a lot of races that year and a load of podiums. So, you know, I never doubted my ability, you know, without sounding arrogant and big-headed. You know, I've always thought that I can always do a good job on a bike. But, you know, not the circumstances with different teams last year didn't really help. You know, we was on the back foot last year with a lot of crashes, and I was injured all of most of last year, hence why we missed the last few rounds. My shoulder really has only just started to feel normal the last 2 months. So it's taken a long time to get fully back to what I was. And, you know, last week was really the first time I felt like the old Luke Mossey, you know, in the wet, you know. I know it's a leveller and it's, you know, I'm not calling myself a wet weather specialist because I'm not at all, but I just felt it was more of a leveller. I saw the podium there and we got it. So, you know, like I said, I've never doubted my ability. I just feel like now that I need to be on a good bike with a decent team, and I feel like I can be regularly fighting for at the front again. I really do.
As we said, you don't forget how to pedal these bikes round. And as you said there, you know, feeling like the old Luke Mossey and getting back onto that podium. When the season started, I mean, we'll go to the tag side of it and we'll go back 2 years to here 2 years ago. You stuck the tag bike on pole.
Yeah.
I remember it clearly because you came up to the Bennett stand and we had a bit of a chat on the Bennett stand, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was great to prove that you can still do it. And that's what I was going to say. The old Luke Mossey, it is what Luke Mossey can do. It's experience that you've got. It's not about being big-headed or anything like that. No. You're experienced on the superbike, and that's what showed in the rain. So there's a reason why you got there. You've got to have that self-belief in yourself as a rider. You never go into a session or a race going, do you know what, I don't really fancy this today, or I don't think I'm going to be able to do this today. You know, Show me a rider on pit lane that hasn't got an ego.
You never think, exactly.
In some way,
and
shape or form.
You know, people probably call a lot of riders arrogant or big-headed, but we're not. We're just, you know, we're self-believers and we think we can do the best job better than anyone else. You know, we think we're better than all the other riders on the grid. And if you didn't believe that, you need to be doing something else, don't you, really? So, it's... I think with what I said, what we've shown this year, we've shown glimmers of hope. You know, we've had a lot of bad luck, you know, with DNFs and stuff. But, I feel like I'm riding well and, you know, see what happens this weekend, obviously, but obviously in the future as well. So things are looking good at the moment for me. I feel like I said, back to fully fitness. You know, it's nice to be fully fit 'cause I feel like I've not been out for a long time, and just nice feeling normal again, if you know what I mean. So yeah.
From a training point of view as well, isn't it? It's not just the riding side of things. But being able to train as well is so important.
There's a lot of things that I couldn't do last year training wise with my fitness, and you know, it really did mentally just drain me, where I couldn't ride the bike to my full capability. You know, I was always riding at like 60-70%, and you just don't want to, but you're just not interested when you feel like that. And that's why we missed the last 2 rounds, because there was no point that turning up, because the rounds previous to that, you know, we was doing half a weekend and not being able to finish, you know, the qualifying or the race on the Sunday, because my body just wouldn't physically let me or mentally let me. So that's why we ended up missing the most of the end of last year, really.
But now being back on the podium at Donington Park, tell us the feelings for being stood on the top there and looking down at the team and everyone.
It was great, honestly.
The podium with the boys.
It felt like my first podium again in BSB back in 2015. It was just like I said, relief, massive weight off my shoulders. You know, we all come here to go racing to get trophies and be fighting at the sharp end. So yeah, when we were sitting on the grid and I could see that the rain started to come down, it was going to be a bit of a dirty track, dirty race. Just got a really good start, and I think I made 6th or 7th place up on lap 1, and I think I got straight into 6th place, and I was staying with the group in front of me, and I don't know, I just felt a podium coming on, and you know, it was only a 10 lap race. It was shortened from 12, and you know, the race did go very quickly, but I don't know, it's just the last lap we went into behind Jack, and Haslam just got in front of him again, and you know, I don't want to sound it sounds bad. It was either crash or bin it for me, crash or win it sort of thing. But you know, I knew that the bike felt good, the tyres felt good. I never had any scary moments in the race, and I just felt really confident. And coming into the last lap, Jack was in front of me, and you know, they were a little bit of a block past him, and I said sorry, and I'll say sorry again. But it had to be done. You know, I saw Jack after, and he said, "You've had podiums in BSB. Why couldn't you let me just have one?" But as you know, all know, it doesn't work like that. But yeah, it was after the year we've had to reward the guys at L1 Racing a podium, because they've not had one for donkey's years either. It was just a great atmosphere, great finish to the year for the team, really, and myself.
Well, it was an unusual start to the season as well, wasn't it? Because everything was in place, then it wasn't. Then the embers came from what was left behind. So the season didn't start in the best way anyway.
We left the end of the year as going racing as I-Force, I think BMW, same as what we was last year in blue. And then the money, they didn't come on board, no money. So we ended up, they did fold. I got a message from John saying, it's not going to happen this year. So I was left on my arse again. And I was pretty much going to be sitting this year out, sit on the sideline waiting for something to come up. And then as we got into the start of March, luckily the team come back alive again. And we got back on the grid. But it was very last minute. You know, I did generally think that we'd be sitting at home on the sofa watching the racing. So yeah, it was last minute, and like I said, that's why I think, you know, we was very underprepared this year. You know, we didn't get to go to Spain with everyone else because bikes weren't ready, the money weren't fixed in place yet, and we were just playing catch up. The first 5 or 6 rounds, we was playing catch up, especially after my season last year. You know, with the injury, we were so unprepared going into round one. Honestly, the first 5 or 6 rounds, I was literally just testing. We were just playing catch up and just getting back to, you know, what we can do and just getting warmed up. We had a crash at the start of the year as well at Alton, which sort of set us on the back foot. But we are where we are now, and said it enough times, but we have shown what we can do this year, and I just hope to be regularly at the front in BSB in the future. What
does the future hold for Luke Mossey now?
I will definitely be in BSB next year. Got things going on at the moment, so I can't say too much, but I will definitely be on the BSB grid next year for sure.
Excellent news. That's good to hear, because you never know.
No.
You know whether I don't think you've already said you don't want to take another step back to stock.
I enjoyed
you can't
stock.
do it twice.
I enjoyed stock, but you know, that year in 21 got me back into superbikes. It's, you know, I'm only 31. You know, I still feel like I've got a lot of years to give in the BSB. I'm 31, and I feel like I've got a lot to give in this BSB championship. Cheeky sod. But
You've been around for years.
Honestly, I'm 31 still.
Racing age.
People always ask me, there's no way you're 31. You must be like late 30s, 40. I said, honestly, I'm 31. But people forget, when I come to superbikes in 15, I was only 22. Yeah. I was very young coming up because we've been in supersport for a long time. So yeah, I'm only 31. I feel like I've got a lot to give. And what I did find out in 21 was it's easy to drop back, but it's always harder to get back to superbikes. So, you know, I do, like I said, come up from Rosham last week, I feel like I deserve to be on the BSB grid, and I do want to stay here for the next 5 years. And then, like I said, if I want to go back to stock later on in my career, then I can always do that if I want to. But, you know, I feel like I firmly believe that I should be on this grid for next year and for the future, for sure.
I think any step back to stock now becomes a choice, not a situation.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's fair.
It won't be my first choice to come back to stock, that's for sure.
But what have you got?
And also, to prove then? You know, there's a lot of riders that are coming up to this pathway class next year. So I don't actually know what the future really holds for the stock 1000 class for next year anyway, because I think most of the top teams are moving up with their riders.
Looks that way,
Billy's already been announced with his team. Obviously, you've got the Franco Bourne and Alex Olsen that are doing these last few rounds.
Doing it as well.
Sean Winfield's doing it this weekend. So a lot of these big teams are already moving up. So I don't really know what's going to happen with the stock 1000. Obviously, it's going to be about, but I don't really know the level of the championship, what it's going to be.
It's a bit of a shame because I really love that class.
Yeah, stock 6 and
stock 1000.
I really enjoyed stock 1000. I really enjoyed stock 1000. It was one of the best years I had. That year. So
there's naked forfeits for that. You know that.
Yeah.
That's why you did it.
Yeah.
Ring me in 10
minutes. Yeah. So
he's got Jen with him. Ring me in 10 minutes. It's all right. When you look back over the years, and I know you're only 31, I'm only messing. It's good to hear it because you have been in the class the best part of 9 years.
Yeah.
And that's a long time for anybody. But for the rides that you've had, and we didn't work together, but we got to know each other at OMG.
Yeah.
The 3 or 4 years ago, and you can see it then, and obviously the injury that happened, and the success, especially here, that you've had, is something I think that gets forgotten quite quickly. Yeah,
I mean, I'm a double race winner here at Brands Hatch 2017. You know, I know it's 6 years ago, but bloody hell, it only feels like yesterday. You know, I've had some great years. You know, the problem is people think I'm a lot older as well because I've been in the paddock since 2009. I've done stock 6 in 2009. I mean, that does feel like a long time ago because I was 16 then. But then I went to Supersport from 2010 to 2014, and then been in Superbike since 2015. Obviously, I had a gap year in 21 when I went to Stock 1000. But, you know, I've always been a Superbike rider since 2015. And, yeah, I feel like I've got a lot to give in this championship. And I do strongly believe that in the right circumstances on the right bike, I can be fighting at the front every weekend. And with the new rules next year, with the harder tyre coming in, they're banning the SCX, I think, as far as I'm concerned. With a harder tyre, I really think it's going to be playing to my hands in my favour, because I've always preferred the harder tyre. So, yeah, I think, you know, the way things are, I think I'll have a good year next year. I really, really strongly believe that.
I think it has the potential to suit certain manufacturers as well.
Absolutely, definitely.
But that'll all come out in time. We're not going to have that discussion now, because it's not right. We'll wait for that to be announced properly. We don't want to get kicked out before we've even started.
Absolutely.
Because that happens. We've not said the wrong thing all season. I'm not about to change that now. That is for sure. We have questions.
Yes.
If you've not got this far with the questions yet, these are good fun, because these find out all about you.
Right, okay.
And I know you
not too much, hopefully.
Well, everything. We're going to put it out there for Luke Mossey. This is because, you know, when was the last time we did one? When it was in the early days, didn't we? I think you're like the third guest or something like that.
Yes.
And then we've not really seen much of you since then. Because then you were in stock, and then you got the pole position here with the tag bike, season with tag.
Yeah.
And then here we are, after the season now, with iForce last year, and then Tactics.
This year. Tactics by Lloyd and Jones. No, not Tactics. Tactics
and
by
why
Lloyd
the fuck are you on a green BMW? Is that psychological? That's something I was going to ask you. Is that psychological?
It's certainly not psychological. At the end of the day, if that's what the sponsors that are paying for the bills, if they want the bike pink, they can have it. Do you know what I mean?
It's just had a thought for only success on the other on the green manufacturer. I'm looking at it.
People still ask me now, is it a Kawasaki? No, honestly, it is a BMW. So.
But that's thanks to Tactics and their colours, and
absolutely.
Without them you wouldn't be here.
Exactly that.
You can have it pink and polka dotted.
They can have whatever colour they want if they're paying the bills.
Do you remember Danny John Jules and Steve Keys, Matt Roberts, when they went down to Valencia?
No.
They all had pink leathers.
No.
The pink R1s. When was that? That must be 20. You probably weren't even born. Can't remember when that was. That was early. That must have been 2010, something like that.
Was it?
Yeah. Right. Give me, Luke Mossey, a number between 1 and 27.
What, in my head, or tell you?
No, tell me.
12.
What's the one I'll get that right in a minute. Let me try that again. What's the one thing that people are generally surprised to find out about you?
These questions will catch me off guard, because I literally have no idea. Something they are surprised about me. I don't know, that's a really awkward question, that is. I don't know, because I'm quite open, so everyone knows everything about me, like what I do in my day-to-day life.
That's fair. Give me another number. You're not sure now, are you? You don't really want to give me a number.
I want to answer that question with something, but I don't know what to say. Another number.
Yeah. Give me another number between
9.
1 and 20. Number 9. Tell me about the one thing you wish you'd enjoyed more.
In racing?
Anything.
Usually it's funny, racing. I was having this conversation the other day with my friend. When I'd done the last ever 250 British Grand Prix in 2009 at Donington Park on a Aprilia. And when you think about doing a British Grand Prix, it's like sitting it out, that'd be amazing to do that again. But when you're actually doing it, because it's so serious, you don't actually enjoy it, because you've got to do a job. So being in that paddock, and, you know, when you're next to Rossi and your motorhomes and all that, I wish I did soak that up and enjoy it a bit more than what I did, because you're a racer, you don't see that side of it, and I do wish that I did soak it up a bit more, if you know what I mean.
Do you know what that only comes with?
What?
Age. Yeah.
Well, I was 16 at the time. You know, racing against Simoncelli and people like that was an incredible experience. That was.
I think a lot of people.
Well, I wouldn't say I raced him. I was in the same race.
In the same race.
But yeah, it was a great experience. That amazing experience.
Didn't Hector Barbara win the race?
Yeah.
Didn't
no, but I remember
was he on the podium?
I said to him, because he in qualifying, I remember this. He come past me when I got in his way, because our bike was a lot slower than his. He had a factory Aprilia, and we had like well, I think Bradley Smith's 125 was quicker than my 250 down the back straight. But I remember Hector Barber coming past me, waving his leg at me, giving me a wanker sign and all sorts. And then we were teammates in 2020, and I fucking pulled him up on it. And then I remember the first session, I think it was here, I done it fucking back to him, prove a point.
This is how
that
we
stuck
do
with me
it.
that long, honestly, that did. I remember him doing it. He went absolutely ballistic. I was only 16 at the time, and like I was looking at like Barber and Bautista and people like that, like, oh fucking hell, I wish to be like them one day. And then obviously we were teammates, and I fucking gave it back to him just as much as he gave it to me. So
That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. What's that? Your age? Yeah. Well, very
you were
good,
surprised when I
Jennifer.
just told you that, didn't I? Weren't you?
Oh no, I knew how old you were.
Oh, right, okay.
I was just taking a piss.
Yeah.
So the one thing that people are surprised to find out about you,
Is my age,
excellent.
because I'm only 31, not 38.
It's 31 again.
Yeah.
He's like Chris Walker.
I know. Get a year younger in the programme every year. I think that's what Stalker did.
That's only a tenner a time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell me another one between 1 and 27.
24.
Who is or was your biggest rival?
Growing up when we was younger, in mini motos, then the Contis and Metrikits and Spanish 125s that I'd done, Scott Redding. We raced from 5 years old to the age of 15, and we was literally every weekend when we was kids and mini motos, it was always between me and him. And I remember we used to get on really well, me and Scott. The ones that used to argue with the fathers and uncles, they had rows every weekend, whereas the kids were just like getting on with racing, enjoying it and having fun. But
Weirdly, with his dad and uncle and your dad, I can imagine that.
oh, mate,
Because
honestly,
neither of them take any shit. None of them take any
They
shit.
took the racing a lot more serious than what us kids did when we was younger. You know, we used to enjoy it, and the parents like, you're cheating, and like it was every weekend. It was honestly, like, you could see them at each other's throats every weekend. It was actually quite painful, really, to watch, if I'm honest. But yeah, I'd say Scott, when we was I know it's only mini bike stuff, but we took it very seriously when we was kids.
That's
Very
how your
seriously.
career starts.
We was, you know, I remember Dad saying we started as a hobby, and again, without sounding arrogant or big-headed, me and my brother, because we'd done it together, we got quite good at it, and it got serious very quickly. Within like the first couple of months, first couple of races, it got serious very quickly, and it weren't a hobby anymore.
Your dad raced, didn't he?
Yeah, he used to race in European, and he done the 500 Grand Prix at 89 in Donington Park. So, yeah.
So I remember these things. I remember these things. Right, we've got 1 to 30 now.
30.
What's your favourite music?
Depends what mood I'm in. I like any sort of music. Love, rap, hip hop, anything.
Was there a
really.
comma between love and rap, or that you love rap?
Love
and rap. Yeah.
Love and rap.
Wasn't it?
Anything. Depends what mood
Well,
I'm
you
in.
got kids now, mate. That's it.
Depends what mood I'm in. Normally watch Disney stuff now, so it's always like Disney Channel and Disney music at the moment. But
You know the tune to High School Musical and Hannah Montana and stuff like that, don't you? We've
Yeah.
all been there, mate.
Right, honestly.
We've all been there. Give me another one.
18.
If you could have an unlimited supply of something, what would it be?
Money, so I can make my own race team.
It's getting a popular answer, that, isn't it? That
Easy.
It's getting a popular
If I had
answer.
unlimited money, I'd be in MotoGP on a Ducati with Luke Mossey all over the bike, and it'd be my team, and I'd do what I want when I want. Simple
Don't
as
mind
that.
LCR, it'd be LMR.
Yeah, well, whatever you want to say.
Luke Mossey race.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way it is. One more, Chief.
11.
If you could be invisible for the day, what would you do?
I won't be able to say this on camera, will I?
Yes, you can.
If I could be invisible. Rob a bank to go racing with.
It's all about the racing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd rob a bank and then go set my own team up again.
There's a money and racing theme coming through.
Well, I think everyone knows it's always about the big M, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's always
About the green.
always comes down to money, doesn't it? Regardless of what you do in racing.
You can't do anything in this sport without it.
Absolutely
it
not.
soaks up so much money
It just,
for everybody.
At the moment, it just seems like it's getting more and more expensive every year with teams. You know, there's like teams struggling. I'm not saying we're one of them, but you know, things are tight at the moment. You know, you got McCann's dropping out. Obviously, the Lavelle, Danny Kent teams dropped out. You know, it's definitely getting. It feels like it's getting worse every year with money with teams.
I think there's a couple of seasons yet before it turns around, you know.
Definitely, 100%.
I feel like it is on a bit of, for some reason, it's on a bit of a slide because people don't have the same expendable income. They maybe don't get the return out of racing that they want.
Yeah.
And it's not just a tax offset anymore.
I think
people want more for the money.
People are just scared to spend their money at the moment as well, aren't they? It's not a good time to waste money on motorbikes, is it really?
No, because it's our favourite sport.
Exactly.
Please do.
Yeah, if you can, please do.
If you can, please do. If you can do some as well, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Of all the circuits you've ever raced on, what's your favourite corner and why?
I'm trying to think of a good memory at a corner. Probably Clearways, because I was leading the race when I'd done the double here, but coming round on the last lap to do my first race win and then the next race to back it up with a double was just amazing. And I hope to do that again one day, soon in the near future.
That would be
it was, that double win here was something special. That was, you've been working your whole life and career to like win at this sort of level, and then to get your first. I was happy with the first race win, then to go out and do the double was, I was pretty speechless after that. I had a good night that night, that's for sure.
Does that not just reconfirm that what you did in the first race wasn't a fluke?
Yeah.
Does that settle your mind as well?
It was not. I was confident on the grid. After the first race, I knew what I could do, and I was confident that the bike was working incredibly well that weekend. And I just said to myself, I fancy doing it again, I'll do. So done it again. It's weird to say, because like to do a race winning superbike and a double, it's incredibly hard. But that weekend, and I'm sure a lot of riders will back me up on this, it just felt so natural and not easy, but it just felt a lot more easier than some weekends you're like 8th and 10th, you're like, I'm really trying it and I just can't get any further up the grid. But that weekend, it just felt I felt more really relaxed, and it just felt like the weekend come to me instead of me attacking it, if you know what I mean. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it was that was a great weekend. That was.
There comes a time, I think in every racer's career, where they have a weekend where they're not chasing anything and you're not chasing the circuit, because the harder you try, the slower you go.
It's very rare that you get a weekend where the whole weekend comes to you and you're not attacking it. Most weekends you are attacking to get to where you need to be.
It reminds me of Jason at Thruxton earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was he was 9th place. It's just like, I'll just take you there.
Again, I bet he would admit that was a weekend where it just felt not easy, because that's not the right word to use, but more. That's a weekend that come to him. You can see I was behind him, I think, in one of the races, and it looked effortless for him. He just picked him off one guy a lap, and then just cleared off. And it was like, how the hell are you doing that? Do you know what I mean? Wish I could do that.
What's the biggest thing you've been lacking this year? Is it one big thing, or is it some of the parts?
I think obviously funds have been hard this year. We're not a McCann's Yamaha team where budget is not a problem. We are doing it on a shoestring. We are doing it underfunded. The bike's 3 years old. Hence I think the bike is, bless it, is worn out. I've had a lot of DNS through that. And this year's been all about setting up this team again for the next season. Again, the start of the year, like I mentioned before already, injuries, getting over injuries, lack of testing. There's been a few things this year that have really hampered us, and I feel like now we're only just getting going, but we're at the end of the year now, and I feel like the last few rounds I'm back to feel like my normal self. But we're end of the year now, so it's like not a little too late, because obviously we've got a podium last week and we're at Brands Hatch, one of the circuits I really enjoy. So I think we'll have a good weekend this weekend. But yeah, it's just annoying now that we won't be racing again till April.
Well, this is, spin that around on its head in a positive sense. This is going to be you're headed into one of the most positive winters in recent years for you as a rider.
It's been a long time since I've been like more settled and I can actually enjoy my Christmas dinner, sort of knowing what I'll be doing, if you know what I mean. It's always nice to go into the winter to be sorted and relaxed, and then you can just focus on what you've got to do over the winter to get yourself ready for the next season. And yeah, it's been a long time. Most seasons I've been going into Christmas thinking, bloody hell, will I be racing next year? And it's a horrible feeling, because I want to be racing. This is my job, and I want to be here for a long time to come.
You're a professional rider. There's no no Sparky's job on a Monday morning or
Absolutely
elbow deep in crap on a plumber.
Absolutely not. So yeah,
This is what you do.
Yeah, so I want to be here for a long time coming.
Same team next year or a different one?
We're in talks at the moment. You know, nothing's done. I can't say too much at the moment.
I just saw the bus come in, so I thought I'd just throw you under
that. Not saying anything at the moment. Yeah, it's all up in the air. So time will tell.
Bottom line is you're on the grid.
Yeah,
I just thought I'd throw that one in.
I'll be on the superbike grid. I will definitely be on the superbike grid.
That's what matters.
I'll definitely be on the superbike grid.
And the final question, and you probably got a couple of these, knowing how long you've been out in Spain and doing things over there. It's best hire car story, Luke.
Do you know what? I haven't actually got many.
Oh, what?
I'm quite a sensible person, I am, sort of.
It's me you're talking to.
I've not done anything in a hire car, really. I suppose the only time, really...
You can be a passenger if you want to.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't actually have to be driving.
The only real hairy moment, I say, well, it weren't really hairy. We got pissed up at the end of 2018 with Troy Corser. We was leaving this bar. I don't know how he got us home. I was quite pissed, but he was absolutely legless. And how he got us home, I do not know, honestly. That was quite an interesting night. But yeah, I haven't really got too many stories to tell because, yeah, I've not really done a lot in hire cars, if I'm perfectly honest. Normally, my dad drives the hire car, and he's
he's steady away, Dad.
60-year-old man, so he just wants to get to the bar and get back to the hotel.
I could change it to what's the best night out you've ever had after racing?
Yeah, I can't say too much again. That would get me in trouble.
It's like
that would definitely get me in trouble.
You see, these are like the Macau stories. This is what.
No, not as bad as Macau. I've heard some stories about that, and that's nothing as bad as that.
I don't think there's anywhere available here that can do things
definitely
like that.
Not.
It's almost like the end of. You ever watch Phoenix Nights?
No.
Or is that too northern for you?
No, it's definitely too northern.
It's too northern. It doesn't matter. I'm not even going to. This is the boy from Essex who actually is actually from Cambridgeshire.
Yeah.
But you're only just over the border. But
we are on the border. Where I live, Essex is there, Hertfordshire's here, and Cambridgeshire's here, and I'm right in the middle. And they're all within like 5 minutes of each other. Tri-county
area.
Yeah. Everyone calls me an Essex boy. I'm not an Essex boy. I'm born and bred in Cambridge, and I live in Hertfordshire, so it's just that Essex is literally on my doorstep. That's the problem.
Every time, I think down the A14, you're just off there. Something like that.
Where the Duxford Aerodrome is?
Yeah,
I'm literally 5 minutes down there. That's where I live on the new estate in Royston.
So he's in Royston.
In Royston.
See? Not an Essex boy at all.
Not at all.
They don't want to get
I'm not an Essex boy.
We've got the Essex boy tomorrow.
Who's that?
Danny.
Oh, we've got Danny tomorrow.
He's the only Essex boy, I think.
Yeah, he is.
But he's like proper geezer.
Yeah,
Looking forward to having a chat with him as well. It's another one with not the easiest this season, but it's great news that you're going to be back on the grid next season, mate.
Yeah, it's nice. Just nice to be settled, really. And like I said, enjoy my Christmas dinner, knowing what I'm half doing at the moment. So, yeah, look forward to next year.
Brilliant. Will you come back on the podcast next year and chat about it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, Luke Mossey.
Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot, mate.
Thanks a lot, mate. Enjoyed that.
Cheers, thank you.
Luke.